Are you ready, kids?
Aye, Captain!
I can't hear you.
Aye, Captain!
Oh!
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation.
And today we have a very special podcast series to bring to you. We're going to cover the entire SpongeBob SquarePants series with resident SpongeBob SquarePants fan, Playmaker.
There's no way we could do this without him. And of course, there's so much to say about SpongeBob and his legacy that it's impossible to cover the whole series in one video. So what we're doing is covering the first 5 seasons, with these early ones becoming the pinnacle of the franchise. But
before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get some future podcasts and pause videos.
And thank you so much for joining all of us today, subscribing, sharing our videos, commenting, everything you do. All 3 of us appreciate you very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And before we start, we're going to say, if you have any questions in particular, you should ask Playmaker in the comments below, because he can answer everything.
Yes.
Everything.
So quickly we'll talk about why we decided to do the 3-part series. SpongeBob is legendary, and so are the VAs.
Yes.
And so is Steven Hillenburg.
Yes.
And we've covered some SpongeBob content, but never doing something as grand as this. We had so much fun doing the Turtles coverage.
Yes.
For 2003.
Yes.
That we were like, hey, let's do SpongeBob.
Yes.
Let's ask Playmaker, will he join us? Yes.
Yay! And SpongeBob has so many great episodes, especially in these earlier seasons, and the ones you can always think of when you think of your favorite episodes time and time again. And the show has been going on for now 15, probably going on 16 seasons, multiple movies. It's a franchise right now that isn't going to stop, even with the creator being gone. So what better way to at least go through this franchise and all the seasons and movies it's delivered us by going with the very beginning and what people know it for the best.
True. And Playmaker, as we mentioned, is the SpongeBob aficionado of the Rascal family, the biggest one we know.
Yes.
And his contributions to this 3-part series are immeasurable. We know that he will give it the validation that it needs.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, quickly before we start, for those of you who may not be familiar with SpongeBob SquarePants,
Somehow.
it's an American animated comedy TV series created by marine science educator and animator Steven Hillenburg for Nickelodeon. And it began airing in 1999, and we'll go over the chronicles for each season. And it chronicles the adventures of SpongeBob and his aquatic friends beneath the sea.
Yes.
In Bikini Bottom. So, with that being said, before we start, last note, these 5 seasons are the only ones that were produced by Steven Hillenburg.
Mm-hmm.
So, you ready?
Ready?
Let's get started. Season 1. Cell Animation, 20 episodes, airing between 1999 and 2001.
Yes. And this is the time where every episode is really its own. I think they only had one that was sort of a segment, and this wouldn't even be a thing until much later. So every episode you see isn't just half of one, it really is its own episode, and they were actually a little shorter. They were sort of like almost like the length of regular show episodes. They would be episodic, they'd be one at a time with a very simple premise.
So the first question is, of course, Playmaker, how did you learn about SpongeBob?
Well, just about how any other American kid would. You see it on TV once, and you think, hey, what's this? And then you get hooked on it and sucked into a vacuum that you'll never perpetually leave.
Same for you?
Yeah, pretty much. Very first cartoon I watched.
So what's pretty interesting for me, not being a kid, is when watching it with you, that first season, and it was goofy and fun and silly, and it was everything that nothing on TV was at that time.
Yes.
And seeing how SpongeBob was just likable. And for me being an adult going, okay, this is fun. I like this. these characters are likable. Patrick's
Yes.
an idiot. You know, I was getting everything I was supposed to get. And I think I can say safely that, as you said, for all the kids who liked it, the adults who ended up liking it, means that this was something that crossed all ages.
Right.
And definitely was something that was to be loved unequivocally by everyone.
Yeah, pretty much. And what we really love is that you could name a scene and then people will probably know what episode it's from. Or the reverse, you put the name of the episode and you know what scene you want or your favorite scene or meme is from, because we have seen online multiple times of people using clips and memes and scenes and everything from it, and it's absolutely hilarious. And in just 20 episodes, there's just so many good ones. There's just so many good scenes and episodes, and like you almost can't pick one.
True. So we were introduced to the landmark, we're going to say VAs because they are.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Kenny, Bill Fagerbaki, Roger Bumpus, Clancy Brown, Mr. Lawrence, Jill Talley, Carolyn Lawrence, Mary Jo Catlett, and Lori Allen. And what is Tom Kenny's wife's name? Did I
Jill.
I got it.
Jill
Okay.
Yep.
So we all know that this VA cast is, again, legendary. 16 years. I think it's 16 seasons, right, Playmaker?
Yeah, about.
Okay.
One's still going on Nickelodeon today.
Okay.
Okay.
So everyone knows them worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't anybody, I don't think, alive over the age of 2 who doesn't know who SpongeBob is, and anyone above the age of 10 knows who this cast is.
Right.
And I think it's funny how most of these people were, if I'm not mistaken, they were noticed for doing other voice acting work, like on Rocko's Modern Life and so forth.
Right. And especially, Playmaker probably knows all these people by heart, especially when they get down the line, you have the guest stars and things, but you can probably tell you what character said what line, who voice actor and everything, right?
So Tom
I
Kenny.
can't tell you what special guests made an appearance and the only things they ever said on the show.
Okay, we'll get to that quickly then.
Yes.
So Tom Kenny, if I'm not mistaken, he was picked up from Rocko's Modern Life. Is that right?
Yes, and
Oh yeah.
yep, and he was the voice of Heifer.
Of course. His posterior is so superior.
That was actually his first voice acting appearance, Tom Kenny, actually.
Unbelievable.
Yep. And then we later found out that for SpongeBob voice, it was actually supposed to be Charlie Adler. That's who they had chosen. And looked like he couldn't make it. And Tom Kenny was more of the backup. They said, well, he can't show up. Can you just take the place, for now since he's not here? And he took it. And then not knowing that he would be cemented as the voice forever.
Yes. So getting to the guests first. Before that, I have to name the first two.
Yes.
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, voiced by Ernest Borgnine and Tim Conway.
Yes!
And I was so excited when I learned that's who was voicing them, because our Nana knew who Ernest Borgnine was. And I remember when we told her, and she was just floored.
Yeah.
And then Tim Conway, of course, was famous for being a comedian on the Carol Burnett Show and so many other things, starting, I think if I'm not mistaken, from the 50s on forward. So learning that these two were the characters was just a delight, because I knew who they both were from her, and to know that they had that comedic timing that just worked.
Yeah.
And did they become favorite characters from the first episode?
I would say so, yeah. Mainly because of the duo. Believe it or not, Tim Conway and Ernest Borgnine, they were actually paired in a lot of films even before SpongeBob. And I remember there was actually this one 1950s show, movie that was starring them two, that was starring them both as sailors.
Yes, and our Nana watched it, and the show was called McHale's Navy.
Oh my God.
That's it.
Yes.
Oh my God, that is perfect then, because they're I guess undersea crime fighting duo who fight evil.
And I think they became
Batman and Robin.
yeah. And they became, I think, just as famous as SpongeBob and Patrick and the others. And I don't think anyone expected that.
Right.
So who are some of the other guest actors that appeared in season 1?
Trying to think. I'm looking through the episodes now. I'm trying to think of who else that I would know in season 1 besides them.
But did they have a lot in the beginning?
I'm sure they have.
Because I know they got a ton as it went on, but since it was the early
Yeah.
ones, did they just like have some select people and then that was in? They
so
kept
maybe
it to the
they were
major
the two
ones.
biggest ones. then.
Probably at that
They were the
time.
standout.
Yeah.
So that works. So
Yeah.
since you're looking at the episode titles, tell us all of the episode names, all 21 through 20.
All right, but just to let you know, the season 1 that I have, it actually has a few more, so I may be going over. So
Okay.
We're ready.
it has. This season has Reef Blower, Tea in the Tree Dome, Bubble Stand, Ripped Pants, Jellyfishing, Plankton, Naughty Nautical Neighbors, Boating School, Pizza Delivery, Home Sweet Pineapple, Merman and Barnacle Boy, Pickles, Hall Monitor, Jellyfish Jam, Sandy's Rockets, Squeaky Boots, Nature Pants, Opposite Day, Culture Shock, Fun, Muscle Bob Butt Pants, Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost, The Chaperones, Employee of the Month, Scaredy Pants, I Was a Teenage Gary, SB129, Karate Choppers, Sleepy Time, The Suds, Valentine's Day, The Keeper, Rock Bottom, Texas, Wonder Small, Falls in April, Neptune Spatula, We're Gonna Play Hooky, and Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2.
Oh my gosh.
So now that you've told us what's included, want to point out that the first season DVD was released in Region 1, October 2003, and Region 2, November 2005, Region 4, November of 2006. The pilot episode, Help Wanted, if we're not mistaken, was not included on the DVD due to copyright issues with the song. Is that correct? Living in the
Yeah,
Sunlight, Loving in the Moonlight by Tiny Tim?
Yeah.
Now, did you get it as a bonus feature on the copy that you have?
No, I did not. I actually had to get it as a special edition from a mini box that I got. That was literally just called SpongeBob, the Pilot, a mini movie, and a SquarePants short, which not only featured the pilot, Help Wanted, but also a mini movie from a little bit after the Atlantis SquarePants episode came out, as well as a few other SpongeBob shorts, like What If SpongeBob Was Gone, or And Now With SpongeBob Mini. Those sort of things from the early 2000s SpongeBob.
If
Didn't
you
know
guys own season 1, let us know in the comments. And quickly, favorite episodes?
Okay, my favorite 2 would be SB129 because of future, and Plankton, with his very first appearance, where he said, "I'll fool you one day, Krabs. I went to college."
My favorite is Ripped Pants. Because I ripped my pants. And the one who sang the Ripped Pants song, I knew who he was because yet again our Nana had watched Rich Man, Poor Man. And when I saw the name, I was like, oh my gosh, it can't be the same person. And it was. And your favorite 2 maximum episodes, Playmaker?
Yes. I've sent you a list before of which ones were my favorite, but...
You have to name your own.
Look at any episode. But if I had to choose favorite right now, one would definitely be the pizza delivery, because me and my dad, we were always like, this 60 crab pizza
is the pizza you gonna leave.
And then, the one that got me so hating on one of the characters there, Pickles, because of little old Bowl Bass.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh. So the last 2 things I want to point out that really stand out for this season quickly is the theme music composed by Derek Dryhorn, Blaze Smith, Mark Harrison, and Steven Hillenburg. There's no one who doesn't recognize it when it comes on. And it was narrated by Tom Kenny, who was also Patchy, but I don't think that had come up yet, had it?
I think that's whole season 2.
Okay.
Right.
So, that concludes season 1. Now we shall move on to season 2.
Yes.
With a new character being introduced, Quilliam? Is that right?
Squilliam Fancy Son from band class.
So season 2 had 20 episodes and ran from 2000 to 2003. And this went from cell animation to 2D animation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
was one of the changes for the series this season. And also there probably was some theme changes. So you guys tell us about those changes or additions for season 2.
All right. So I guess it would be, you could tell it was still the same fun as season 1, but it looked newer. The designs of the characters looked different from season 1, and they were had different expressions. You could tell they were all sort of different from before in terms of their look, but it wasn't like a complete overhaul where they had redesigns or anything. They just kind of updated them because they were now entering the 2000s. And I think another thing would be is how many special effects that were used in here, and a lot of memes also came from this season, and they include some most memorable plot lines from there that people use all the time as like reactions or things to respond with or just favorite moments. And Squilliam was one of the new characters in there, and then before they start adding in so many, it can make another Bikini Bottom out of it, and it includes one of your favorite episodes that you know you're gonna bring up later.
I actually have 3.
3 favorite. Okay, well, one of those is one of the most iconic episodes of all time is Band Geeks in this season, and you can just like go through every episode and you know just what's your favorite thing or favorite part.
And you also, quickly, you have Christmas Who.
Yes.
Which also was one of the most popular.
Yes. Tell me more about this Christmas.
Like the very first Christmas you made.
La, 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 There's no way. I can't imagine. I know there are people out there who say this show is mindless and stupid, but I don't understand because it was just so much fun. I mean, just fun. And this season, quickly, before you guys take us a little further, it became Nickelodeon's #2 children's program behind Rugrats. And guess what? 40% of the actual audience were aged between 18 and 34 years old.
Oh my god.
Just about my dad was about that age, and that's when he showed me all sorts of SpongeBob and was telling me the same jokes.
Oh my gosh.
So, what other changes besides Squilliam being addition? Were there some other characters that came about, or some changes in the way the layout was done, or the episodes were done? Were there any theme or changes this season?
Well, I feel like in this season, there was definitely more the prominence of the classic "my leg" joke.
Oh yes, my leg!
They did it twice in season 1. One where Mr. Krabs threw the guy out of the Krusty Krab trenches who were closed.
Yes, I remember. And who knew that would become such an iconic part of SpongeBob? You gotta hear him say "my leg" once, and in case people did not know, it became so famous that the "my leg" guy actually got his own episode, and the whole time he had an opportunity to keep saying "my leg" for
He's like,
something.
my cabbages.
Yes, he became so famous he got his own episode later.
Oh my gosh.
Fred. Apparently his name was Fred.
Right.
This whole time.
Yeah, so, oh, my best friend Fred. You're like, you never were friends till today. Oh man.
So I think also, didn't you get to see Mr. Krabs' mom? She appeared in here for the first time with the potty mouth. Was that the name of it?
I think so.
Sailor Mouth. Thank
Say the
you.
mouth, yeah. Sure did.
Oh dear, my poor old heart.
Yes.
And this was probably why you had 18 to 34-year-olds watching.
Right?
So you really also got the cementing of the cast. You didn't have any changes in the cast where they replaced people, thank God. And I
Right.
mean that sincerely, because this cast from the first season again cemented what made this show work.
Yeah.
Besides just the writing and the humor and the behind the scenes workings and so forth, these people absolutely, made it work. So quickly, I want to point out Tom Kenny, of course, is SpongeBob,
Again.
and Gary, which I was surprised at. Bill Fagerbakke as Patrick Star, a starfish. I forgot to say SpongeBob's a sponge.
Right, because you
Roger
must.
Bumpus as Squidward, the octopus.
No, the tentacle.
His last name's Tentacle. Clancy Brown as Mr. Krabs. And this was a big surprise because he had done so much live action work.
Yes.
And to learn that this is the same actor that I had actually seen in movies really floored me.
Yes.
And then you had Sandy Cheeks, voiced by... It's Carolyn Lawrence, right? Is that who voiced Sandy Cheeks?
I think so.
Carolyn Lawrence.
Okay.
Thanks.
And she
Okay.
was and believe it or not, she was also Cindy Vortex from Jimmy Neutron.
Oh my
wow.
gosh. So she was two iconic characters on Nickelodeon.
And Mr.
Yeah, so
Lawrence as Plankton. Are they related, Carolyn Lawrence and Mr. Lawrence?
No, not at all. But here's a fun fact: Tom Kenny is. You're not gonna believe who Tom Kenny is actually in real life married to.
Who?
I think we know, but tell everyone.
Yes, tell.
Alrighty. The voice actress. A lot of you people might know her. Her name is Jill Talley. She does a lot of Nickelodeon characters. You know, like from the early 2000s. A lot mainly like mom or funny characters. But on SpongeBob, she's the voice of Karen.
Oh my god.
Yes, Rascal told me.
You guys on a show together.
I was very surprised.
SpongeBob is married to Plankton's wife.
To quote you, cheater, cheater, cheater. And then you also have Mary Jo Catlett as Mrs. Puff, who you adore, that poor woman. And then Lori Ann as Pearl, Mr. Krabs' daughter, who was also introduced this
Yes,
season.
that's true. And one more, and didn't expect her to be famous, was SpongeBob's grandmother. When they had, I think, the grandma's cookies.
Yes.
And that's how a majority of kids knew her. Like you said, adults knew her already, but kids knew her through this SpongeBob
And now,
episode.
you know her name?
Unfortunately.
Marion Ross.
Marion, thank you.
And she played in one of the most iconic 70s series ever, Happy Days, and she played the mom of the main character.
Oh my god.
So see, this is what's great about watching TV with your grandparents and your parents, because you learn all this stuff,
Right.
And you've watched reruns, and you know this stuff. When stuff pops up, like, oh, I recognize that. Oh, I know that.
Yes.
Because I hung out with my elders. It's a
Right.
great thing, guys. Don't knock it.
Right. Remember SpongeBob said, "Oh, people are the greatest. They're full of wisdom and experience."
Yes. So as before, Playmaker, run down the titles for us, the episodes.
Okay, but this season is so iconic. I have to throw in a few, memes or sort of classic lines from these shows.
Sure.
Here we go. Your shoes untied. Squid's day off. Something smells. Italian Sunday. Bossy boots. The big pink loser. Dying for pie. We're supposed to explode. Imitation crabs. Crabboard. Wormy. Patty hive. Pretty patties. Available in 6 designer colors. This is Squidville. I heard better comebacks from a turkey sandwich. Pre-hibernation week. We're called Pinhead. Life of crime. Act normal. Christmas who? Yeah. Survival of the idiots. Dumped. All a sad one. No free rides. I'm your biggest fanatic. Hi, Kevin. Article 1-3. Squirrel jokes. Howdy, y'all. The smoking peanuts. Shanghai. Keep going. You're good. And stop. Don't worry, Kevin. We'll run out those scratches. Jerry takes a bath. Bath time. Welcome to the chum bucket. I met your contract, and I lost. Doodle. Green box holding one embarrassing picture of SpongeBob at the Christmas party. Keeps 2 instruments of torture count. The graveyard shift with a hat. booster puff. She doesn't like to talk about it. Procrastination.
Oh.
Break time. I'm stupid, but don't genius live in a lamp? Sailor mouth. My foot. Artist unknown, bold and brand, more like belongs in the trash. Fish hunter with old no name, the frack of games. Check it out. I've been working for the chill bucket for almost 5 minutes. SpongeBob and the worm. That's not the worm. Pardon? That's not the worm. That's its tongue. Squid on strike. In order to pay off these damages, you two are gonna work for me.
So,
Is that it? That's a great episode.
and great lines too.
Oh my god.
Oh, in addition to Mary and Ross, we gotta mention you had
Oh.
John Rhys Davies, who was in the same episode as the hero's nemesis Man Ray,
Oh yes.
as a Merryman and Barnacle Boy.
Yes.
And you had Brian Dole Murray as the Flying Dutchman.
yes.
And D. Bradley Baker also voiced some characters.
Oh my gosh, when you guys get roll after roll after roll.
So I definitely wanted to point that out because you had more guests than you did in season 1.
Right.
That's a lot of great episodes. And just from the lines, if I was not recalling them when you were stating the lines, then immediately episodes came back to memory.
Yes.
So
Yes.
So as before, favorite episodes. Playmaker first. Only no more than 3. No more than 3.
3.
Okay. 3. Okay, 3. Definitely Sailor Mouth. That episode got me in trouble so many times as a kid because I would just repeat the sound effects and my mom would know I was secretly, cursing. Shanghaied. That was my dad's favorite episode. Seriously, every time that the ship would pass through the rocks, my dad would go hysterically because they were like, "Don't worry, Captain, we'll buff out those scratches. Keep going, you're good." And as for third, oh man, just I don't know, just gotta be Dying for Pie because stars don't explode.
I think I actually have more than 3, but I'm gonna stop at 3. I
Okay.
can't do it, tell you that. No.
Okay.
Of course, you know Band Geek.
Yes.
Oh my
the
gosh.
iconic Band Geek.
That is my favorite ever. And then, of course, Christmas Who
Yes.
and Bubble Buddies.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So for me, one would be Procrastination, just for the fact that SpongeBob put off everything, and then he spent an hour writing for the. My second would be pre-hibernation week, just for the crap that they said in there with on Did to Sandy, and then sort of like you would be Christmas Who.
Yes, I mean that is one of the most standout episodes ever for a Christmas special on any animated series.
Yes.
It's as legendary now as SpongeBob.
Yes.
And
It's a staple in my house.
yes,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
have to watch it every
Watch
year.
it
I
every
mean,
year.
how can you not?
It's like the Peanut special too.
Definitely.
Yes.
So now we're going to move on to season 3,
Mm-hmm.
which had 20 episodes. It aired between 2001 and 2004. And from this point on, through the remaining other 2 seasons, it stuck with 2D animation.
Mm-hmm.
So there were some themes and changes, I'm sure, this season for SpongeBob. Can you guys tell us what those are?
I think it would be. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I would definitely say that like a lot of the changes included like a little more crash humor here and there. Because I can definitely think of at least 3 episodes that had some very crash humor, and then a lot more live action scenes, mainly like in like background scenes, like with the robots, and definitely a lot more presence of Tom Kenny on this one.
Yes, it was Patchy. That's true. He was the host of the SpongeBob fan club, so I guess that was a way to save some time in animation to have him host that.
Forgot to mention quickly that the season 2 DVD was released in Region 1 October 2004, Region 2 October 2006, and Region 4 November 2006, and several compilations that contain episodes from the season were released prior and after, so you were getting a lot more content. Would you say that's right?
Yes.
Okay, let's get back to season 3.
Okay. All right. So I think another change would be is a lot more fast paced. Like Playmaker said, it's a lot of crash humor, and I thought you meant Crash Bandicoot. Don't laugh at me. And there's a lot of really fast, really loud humor, but it's way different from now, where it's just literal noise and things screaming is funny. It would just be so fast. You don't see it coming, and you kind of gotta rewind it or just take a minute to let whatever happens sink in. And it happens a lot in various episodes. So I think that would be the biggest thing I would notice.
And this season also surpassed Rugrats and earned the #1 highest rated TV show on cable. With
Really?
6.7 rating and 2.2 million kids in the 2 to 11 age range. And Forbes called it the $1 billion honeypot. So it also surpassed Rugrats in being the *1 show on the network. Poor Rugrats, it was the beginning of the end.
Poor babies.
Yeah. Stupid baby!
Please.
And it was also reported that there were 50 million viewers who watched it every month. And out of that 50 million, 20 million were adults like me.
Oh my gosh.
Again, my dad was one of them.
Right. And then you had the memes that still remain iconic for SpongeBob. And every season, I think, has memes. But a majority of them come from these first 3 seasons and the first film. Because you got stuff later, and you can tell they're trying to make a lot of things be so random or weird, and they're trying to make them stand out so people automatically make memes and make them memories, trying to force it in.
Right.
But these 3 seasons, including season 3, just naturally had it. Stuff you wouldn't expect to be funny, and it is funny. Especially if this is the season that has Squidward eating Krabby Patties. That's definitely one of the biggest ones.
Oh my gosh, can't wait till we get to the episode.
Yes.
So you mentioned it. Let's touch on the movie before we get to the rest of the series. This was the first movie, but from what I read, it was originally meant to be the series finale. Is that right?
Absolutely. I mean, Steven Hillenburg had planned for it to be the good, but then the ratings were so good, they just had to continue.
Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
you've been a nutcase like Disney to cancel it.
Right. And
So tell us, do you know how the movie came about as far as the scripting and the idea for it?
Well, they had several ideas. I remember seeing like on 101 SpongeBob Facts. I remember them saying that Steven Hillenburg pitched several ideas, and in fact, the initial idea for the movie, the plot was going to be SpongeBob having to get back Patrick from a sailor
Oh,
who fished him out of the ocean.
Nemo!
Yeah.
Finding Nemo!
Did that sound familiar to you?
Finding
Finding
Nemo!
Across the ocean to get back their friend who was kidnapped by a sailor.
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo. Oh my
And-
gosh.
And that's why they scrapped it. It was too soon that the movie came out that they realized, nah, we're not going to copy off of them. So they decided to go a different way entirely with Shell City and King Neptune and Dennis.
And Mark Hamill as the Flying Dutchman.
Yes. Oh yeah, he was in this season too.
Yeah. And David Hasselhoff.
Yes. Who are you? I'm David Hasselhoff. Hooray!
Who I've met, by the way.
Yay! Celebrity status.
So,
Just to point something out here really quick. David Hasselhoff is actually still being a spokesperson for SpongeBob for a new video game called Clash. It's like Clash of the Sponge, where he's literally promoting a brand new video game featuring the movie Neptune and the Flying Dutchman.
Oh.
And SpongeBob to get in the middle of it.
Oh my
so
gosh.
he made history as well and has become a legend of SpongeBob because he was in the first movie.
Yes.
And with the scenes in there and him being the boat and the roar and the water and everything, he will never live that down. And
Yes.
it's so good that he has the type of attitude where he's taken in stride and loves it. Because you could
Yes.
have gotten an actor who was hoity-toity and doesn't like the idea of
Oh
being
my-
still known for that.
Oh my God.
But it's great that he still loves it.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and this is, if I'm not mistaken, I know it's my favorite movie of the SpongeBob
Yeah,
franchise.
pretty much.
Is it still the top performing movie, you would say?
Yeah.
The most purchased and most watched?
Yes, most definitely. And even that movie had its best moments and memes and everything. Everything just came from this era of SpongeBob. They had movies later, but they just didn't hit the same. And to me, I think the one biggest issue for me is that they kept relying on that celebrity live action guest star to come in. Because David Hasselhoff was just out of nowhere, but it was funny. Then they started having Antonio Banderas. Then they had Snoop Dogg. They had Keanu Reeves. They just started having everybody in these movies.
And we'll get to that further down the line. But yes, it became, I guess, their
the crutch.
Yes, there you go, crutch. It's not a crutch. It's just something I come to depend on to get me through life. Okay, so let's get back to the season 3 itself. So, what would you say is a standout? Now, I know for me, in reading, it was all of the guest appearances.
Yeah.
Besides in just the movie, you had Justin Timberlake, Kelly Osbourne, Britney Spears, Bruce Willis, Noel Gallagher, Dr. Dre, of all people in the incredible world,
Yes.
and Mike Myers.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, it's crazy that they started having more people. It kind of ended up being like King of the Hill and The Simpsons.
Yeah.
There were
pretty much.
celebrities and fans who wanted to appear.
Yeah.
So what do you guys say were the standouts for this season in terms of changes and themes?
Oh, definitely. I was going to wait for a minute to show this one, but I think that the biggest standout episode that I feel like also changed the whole, recipe for SpongeBob, midlife crustacean. You don't remember that one?
Yes, Summer. You're gonna miss the panty raid.
Girls, right? Girls.
Yeah.
And
And
they're talking about raising their dressers for their underpants.
Oh.
and what's crazy is that we found out a few years ago they actually ended up banning the episode and pulling it from streaming. You can't watch this episode anymore because it was considered too sexualized. And it's like, but they didn't have anything.
You
Right.
can't watch that Paramount Plus. You can't buy it on modern DVDs. You
Nope.
can't even stream it anywhere. And even on the lower platforms, you gotta go on to watch cartoon online to find that anymore.
Yeah,
So they
this-
did like
it's-
Star versus the Forces of Evil with the episode with Love Sentence.
Yes, it's like they pulled it away from existence.
Yeah. Absolutely crazy.
It sucks, yeah.
And it's funny you guys are saying that because this is a season that started getting them nominated for awards for outstanding animated programming and for the voice acting. So it's funny that this is the season they have an episode that they have completely obliterated, and this is the season that began getting them attention from award shows.
Yeah.
So go figure.
Yep.
So, like before, episode titles, please. Drum roll.
Here comes some more laughs. The algae is always greener. With Plankton switches minds. Ah! SpongeGuard on duty. Club SpongeBob. My pretty seahorse. Just one bite. The bully. I'm gonna kick your butt. That nasty Patty. Get in the box. Murray Man Particle Boy 4.
Yes.
Doing time. The snowball effect. One man's thrash. As seen on TV. Can you spare a dime? You stole it! No weenies allowed. The salty spittoon. The roughest, toughest establishment ever had at the Four Seas.
Oh my god.
Swilliam returns.
Oh.
And then, oh my gosh, my favorite. Crab board. Rockabye Valve.
I think so.
Painters. The Krusty Krab cheating video. Did I make a crazy
Yes.
study now? SpongeBob's house party. Chocolate with nuts. Chocolate! Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 5.
Yes.
New student starfish. Clams. SpongeBob SquarePants BC. And no, BC doesn't stand before Christ. It means before comedy. Snail race. Midlife crustacean. The panty raid. Born again crabs. I had an accident. Do it again. I wasn't looking. Krabby Land! I forgot to give you these coloring books / liability waivers. The camping episode. Right, that was missing identity. Boynton's army. You planted grass? Grass! The lost episode. The sponge who could fly. SpongeBob meets the Tattletale Strangler. Thanks a lot. The live nude Pranksters, starring the Bikini Bottom Ghost.
Yay! I want to self-correct before we go on. I accidentally said celebrity appearances. I meant celebrity fans. Appearances didn't start until season 4.
Oh,
so
okay.
I self-corrected myself.
All right.
So the episode titles began to even be more and more crazy, but also a little descriptive, so you would kind of know what was happening
immediately.
in each episode.
Yeah, the episode title tells you everything.
So, favorite episodes this time. Rascal, you go first.
Okay, the first one, of course, would be Just One Bite. Because the fool would not admit he loved the Krabby Patty. You can't eat all these patties at one time. Why not? Am I going to blow up? No, worse. It'll go right to your thighs. And then you'll blow up. And then the second would be the Krusty Krab training video. All because everyone thought that the show cut off gonna reveal the Krabby Patty formula, and we kept thinking, why did they cut it off? What happened to the episode? Like, oh, it was like that the whole time.
Okay, I have 3 favorites. The 2 Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episodes.
Of course.
And the Krusty Krab training episode.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
No.
You did it!
Playmaker?
Okay, I have to choose 3 begrudgingly, but they have to be definitely Plankton's Army, Grass, midlife crustaceans for that scene only. What are you doing with my bloomers? The third, oh man, just again, so many to choose, but if I had to choose a third one, I would have to say the Idiot Box. I want to rest with cowboys on the moon.
Now, in this season, we did have the return of the cast from season 1 and 2, as well as guest stars, and you had a couple more voice acting appearances. Kevin Michael Richardson as King Neptune.
Yes.
And Frank Welker appeared, and also more D. Bradley Baker.
Yes.
So, as we know, this did so well that it got a 4th season.
Yes.
So, the complete 3rd season DVD was released in Region 1 in September of 2005, Region 2 December 2007, and Region 4 November 2007. Several compilation DVDs containing episodes from the season were released prior.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so now we move on to Season 4.
Yes.
Season 4 is comprised of 20 episodes, ran from 2005
To 2007, I think.
and the animation still 2D, right?
Right.
Okay. So what are the themes or changes this season that stand out for Season 4?
Well, I feel like it didn't really go, like, kind of like how Season 3 changed, where it got, like, more crash and modern humor. I feel like Season 4 is where SpongeBob definitely took, like, a modern updates. Like, they made him from, the mainstream cartoony goofiness to a more, defined, like, I guess you could say, like, drawn, defined character. And now he looked more like a little more close to mainstream cartoons back in that day.
Mm-hmm. True.
And also, funny enough, this was the first time I ever saw SpongeBob on commercials. Like, the seasons 1 through 3, they came out, like, a little bit before I was born, or just as I was turning, like, 3 and 4, so I would have never remembered any of that, like, just on TV. But a lot of these episodes, I definitely remember seeing, like, commercials for them as they were coming out.
Oh.
Wow. Now, this season also continued the nomination traditions. They got 3 Kids' Choice Awards for favorite cartoon from all 3 years, 2005, 2006, and 2007.
Ooh, that's when they started that winning streak.
Fear of a Krabby Patty and Shell of a Man were nominated at the 57th Primetime Emmy Awards, believe it or not,
Really?
for Outstanding Animated Program. And they also received a nomination for Bummer Vacation and Wigstruck at the 59th Emmy Awards. So it was really making some standout episodes and contributions to Western animation, which we so desperately needed at that time. If you think back to 2005 and 2007 series you watched, and you think about what was coming out, again, this was a standout. It was unlike anything that was on. The humor was there. It was capturing audiences of all ages. It was doing what no other Western animated show was doing.
Right.
Anime was probably kicking our butts during that time period, and SpongeBob was the standout.
Yes, that's true. And I think for me, one difference would be, now looking back, probably didn't notice it while it was on. As Playmaker said, it was definitely different from season 3 and the others. But when you look back in comparison to the other 3 and then the ones that came after, this is the season people started to notice something was off with the show. As he said, the humor was different, the animation was different. It was hitting differently from the past seasons, and a lot of jokes ended up not hitting anymore. Not because it was badly written, but they had changed their style, and they started trying to exaggerate a lot of things for comedic effect rather than just the characters be funny. And you kind of know SpongeBob and Patrick were being more oblivious to things that they really shouldn't have been that oblivious towards.
Now, it could also be because Paul Tibbett, who was the writer, he was juggling other hats too, supervising producer and showrunner. Maybe they were letting other people write with him, and maybe you weren't being told that that's what was happening.
Probably.
That's a possibility.
Possibly, yeah.
Do you know anything in particular, Playmaker?
Not specifically, no.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is the season, as I had unfortunately said last season, but this is the real season that celebrity appearances began to be a big thing.
Yes.
And that might, I'm just guessing here. This could have also affected it because they were writing around the guests and the characters they were having them voice, and they were more interested in making them probably shine than making the character shine.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility.
True.
You had Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, seriously.
Pat Morita. He appeared. So you had 2 people from Happy Days, because before he was in Karate Kid, he played Al, if I'm not mistaken. That's the character's name in Happy Days as well. And you also had, what's her name? You know who I'm talking about. Mighty B.
Oh,
Amy Poehler.
Yeah.
Amy Poehler also guest appeared. Yeah. And can you guys think of any others that appeared besides, of course, Ernest Borgnine and Tim Conway returning?
Some of them didn't really stand out, because really some of them you didn't even know were in there. I think at some point they ended up getting Ray Liotta, and they had Johnny Depp. I don't know if it was this season or next season, because they started doing a lot of specials and including these big celebrities.
Yeah, although Johnny Depp didn't come out until season 6.
Okay, it was later.
Yeah.
But yeah, they started having, as you said, bigger name people. But some didn't even know they were in there until either you had to recognize the voice or they told you at the end.
And they got rid of Mark Hamill and went back to Brian Doyle Murphy for the Flying Dutchman. I don't know why. Do you?
No.
Okay. But that happened. And unfortunately, Pat Morita died before the episode came out of kidney failure, so they dedicated that episode to him.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
So those are some things that stood out for me. And you said the writing is what changed here.
Yeah, and the writing was so different. There were really no memes this season. You had maybe a couple people remember some funny parts and use as memes, but it wasn't the gold mine the other 3 were. There were barely any this season.
Oh, wow. And they got some of the nominations and awards, but I don't know if the views changed because of the writing. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to know if that affected the number of the viewership they were getting prior to season 4. So, okay, drum roll, please.
Yeah, time for the episodes.
Episode names.
Oh, man. Fear of the Krabby Patty, Shell of a Man. The Lost Mattress, Crabs versus Plankton. Have you seen this snail? The only SpongeBob episode that made me cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skill Crane. Good neighbors are we. Selling out. Bunny Pants. Dunces and Dragons. Murray Man and Barnacle Boy 5 of 6. The Motion Picture. Enemies in Law. Patrick Smart Pants. Squid Bob Tentacle Pants. The Krusty Towers. Mrs. Pop, you're fired. Ghost Host. Wishing you well. Chips Ahoy. Whale of a Birthday. Karate Island. All That Glitters. New Leaf. Once Bitten. Bummer Vacation. Witch Struck. Squidtastic Voyage. That's No Lady. Hocus Pocus, The Thing. No, not that thing. The other thing. Driven to Tears, Rule of Dumb, Best Frenemies, Born to be Wild, Squidwood, The Pink Purloiner, Best Day Ever, and The Gift of Gum, which this whole box set is based off of the book of The Gift of Gum.
Oh my gosh.
So, would you say that, along with the writing changing, the episode titles and the episode focus, would you say that may have had something to do with it as well? Was that different as well?
Yeah.
I'd say that like a lot of these names, a lot of the names here are a little more pun intended than just I feel like the general nautical themed of like a lot of your earlier seasons.
Yeah.
Right.
These ones are just like general puns.
Yeah, and you weren't even getting the narrator as much as you were before either. That was reading some of the titles or even reading the time lapse it would take for certain events, and you kind of missed that because it was like a part of the show. And there was an integral part of the show where you just were waiting for him to just speak all of a sudden in there.
And that was going to be my next question, so you answered about the narrator.
Yeah,
so,
especially when you're missing 1 hour later,
Yes.
2 hours later, 3 hours later. Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
So maybe because they had more adults, maybe some dummy decided it would be a good idea to focus more on adults.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense, because if it wasn't broke, why fix it?
Yeah. Pretty much.
That's just a guess here. I don't know.
I don't know, I feel like this is a little bit where I feel like SpongeBob was kind of hinting a little bit of their Disney side. You know, giving them what they think fans want, not what they really want.
Right.
Yeah.
They should have just stuck with the formula.
Yeah.
It
Worked for
exactly.
3 seasons in a movie.
And got them renewed again, so why would you change it?
Right.
Okay, so
I was just gonna say, believe it or not, now, at least in the last season or two, they've actually kind of went back to that same formula.
Wow,
Really?
it took them 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So I'm going to mention the DVD information quickly, then we get to the episodes. So the compilation for season 4, there were 2 volumes, volume 1 and volume 2. Is that correct?
Yeah, but it's a bit, like I said, this one's just a whole box set. So it has
Well,
all
you
the
were
pages,
lucky,
so
because when it
you
first
can
came out, it was like they do the anime.
They broke them
They
up.
broke it up. And they were released between 2006, 2007, 2008, and 2012, believe it or not. And
Yeah.
the second volume didn't come out until 4 years later in 2012. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh my gosh.
So it's good that you were able to get it later. So,
Yeah.
favorite episodes. I'll go last this time.
Okay.
Playmaker.
Oh man. Easily, have you seen the snail? Because honestly, me and my brother, we would literally spend hours just watching the movie, and we could never watch it without crying. Especially with Gary coming home.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember. Felt the same way.
definitely.
And then Dunces and Dragons with, SpongeBob in medieval times. Like, I would binge that for hours on end. Especially like when me and my brother were on car trips, we would watch that episode all day long, just because it was so funny with the medieval aspects.
Right.
Just for our last third one, I would definitely probably think Once Bitten, like at least for this season, Once Bitten, the one where Gary is appearing with mad snail disease.
Oh.
Splinter in his foot. Snail out of Splinter in his foot.
Okay, let me go quickly while I remember. I would also say, have you seen this snail?
Yes.
It's sad. I would also say the other Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episode.
Always.
All of them, always. And then Crabs versus Plankton.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So for me, I think I actually have 2 in
Just
here.
2?
Yeah, just 2. One will be Krusty Towers, just on the fact Mr. Krabs somehow had enough resources and money to make the restaurant into a 10-story hotel. I don't know how he did that, but he did. And then the other one would be, as you said, the other Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. And I like that every Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episode that is centered around them is different, especially when they were trying to give them their own movie, which is pretty good commentary now ahead of their time for superhero movies, not wanting to get original actors unless they want to.
And this is when I realized that they were kind of like an homage to the Powerpuff Girls and the Ministry of Pain.
Yeah, and the Fallen Archer.
Definitely, finally dawned on me this late in. Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh. So, with that, we'll move on to the 5th and final season we'll be covering. Season 5,
Yes.
20 episodes. Still 2D animation. And airing between 2007 and 2009.
Yeah.
And I do know one of the themes and changes was there were more half-hour episodes.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. Quite a few.
At least 4.
Yeah. And then they also were shifting more of the humor in the episodes. We already had said that it was, as you said, more modernized, more fast-paced, and odd. Now they start putting a lot of gross out humor and trying to yeah, a lot of gross out, a lot of trying to jump scare. Like one whole episode was nothing but the Flying Dutchman scaring SpongeBob to the point where he just got desensitized because he was doing it so much, and it was just like, what are they doing? Are they trying to go over shock value or what?
Well, they may have been trying to get back the kids they possibly lost.
Maybe
With season 4.
Maybe.
And they got a lot of awards and nominations I'll go over later, but maybe that's what they were trying to get back to the kids. But as you said, there wasn't gross out humor before, so I'm not sure who thought that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
I think they tried to do a little Ren and Stimpy humor there, because I got the whole season of Ren and Stimpy, and as I was watching it, it got more grosser and just overall like that kind of weird humor as it went along. And then as I was looking back at this season, I realized, oh my gosh, they're trying to do that exact same formula the way you think gross is funny.
Yeah, pretty much.
That worked for Ren and Stimpy because that's how it started off, and that was the specialty of the show.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that a lot of these shows do that. They'll have a winning formula. It's fantastic. Ooh, I like what they're doing here. Let's do a little that. Ooh,
Right.
let's do a little that. Ooh, there you go. Number 1. Let's try that too.
I'll take that one.
Right. Stick with what's working for you and keep being the standout. And I can say for myself, and not speaking for the two of you, season 5 is when I began to kind of drop off for SpongeBob and finding as much joy in a lot of the episodes. I mean, before the other seasons, like seasons 1 through 3, every episode was great. Season 4, as you said, I didn't know why, but I could tell a difference.
Mm-hmm.
I started having fewer episodes that were standouts to me and favorites with this season, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dropped out about season 8-ish, like a little like when season 8 started. That's when things started getting really modern. But then I slowly got back into it as soon as season 10 and 11 started.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How about you?
Yeah, you're right. I think it's a lot of times when either adults and or kids dropped out. Because I do remember I would see some episodes of this season, even the next one, but they weren't as funny. Again, so much of the gross out and being really grotesquely detailed on the nasty Patty that SpongeBob fell in love with for some reason. We don't know why that was an episode in the first place.
Right.
They were just doing the most bizarre things. They weren't funny, bizarre, and strange and odd, and it was whimsical. It was just like, let's just do something random. Let's just do this. Whatever can be an episode. And then the worse it got, the more you just didn't want to see anymore. It stopped being really as funny, and they started to exaggerate everyone's character traits to the point where it was turned to 11 and their only trait was one thing.
Let me ask you guys a question, and there's a reason because I'm leading up to something else. Would you say they stuck with gross out humor and this type of humor going forward?
Yes.
Yeah?
Somewhat. I would say it did seep into a lot of season 6, I will say.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
I
going to
think-
read you guys a couple of things because I didn't know this. They got quite a few nominations and awards, and maybe that's why they decided, oh, well, we got this many. We'll stick with it.
Yeah, maybe.
They received high acclaim from medias and critics, and acclaim from fans. The show received recognition, including Kids' Choice Awards for Favorite Cartoon and the 60th Emmy Awards. The episodes Inmates of Summer and The Two Faces of Squidward were nominated for Outstanding Animated Programs.
Really?
But they lost to The Simpsons.
The one where SpongeBob was mean got nominated.
And they also got nominated for a BAFTA Children's Award, which hadn't happened before. in the international category. Tom Kenny was nominated at the Annies for Best VA.
As
in an
deserved.
animated, yeah, absolutely. And maybe that is part of the reason why they thought, hey, this must have worked because look at all these things that happened. They also got some recognition internationally from Astra, Teen Choice Awards, Indonesian Kids Awards,
Seriously?
Philippines Kids Awards. And maybe they thought, hey, we're getting all this recognition. Let's stick with it.
Ah.
So unfortunately, I seem to be a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
There were people who stuck with it who didn't really care for it, but it looks like because of the attention they got, they stuck with it.
Yeah, I guess
So I just wanted to, that's why I asked, because I was like, wow, I did not know this. So that's pretty interesting and unfortunate.
Yeah.
So now, do you remember any standout celebrity guests for the season?
Oh yes. Let me see if this one's still in the.
You're Ray
still
Liotta.
Oh yes! Oh my goodness! Yes. So the one where SpongeBob and the friends they go out to Atlantis. You're not gonna believe who was like the Lord Royal Highness, the King of Atlantis. You're not gonna believe who he was.
Yes, it was David Bowie, wasn't it?
Yes.
And he didn't sing a darn thing that whole episode.
Right?
Waste of talent.
Not even lip and gown control.
Yeah.
I knew, Mums. I knew.
Of course you knew.
His name was David Bowie.
Right.
And the episode Nightlight, where SpongeBob's afraid of the creepy creatures of the dark. Not only Ernest Morgan and Tim Conway and Merryman and Barnacle Boy,
Yeah.
but the moth monster, the moth bad guy that was in that episode that wanted SpongeBob's lighthouse. That was the first time Mark Hamill was on the show and playing a villain, no less.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And you're Ray Liotta, our Ray
Yes.
Liotta, but Ray Liotta.
Yeah, because I think at the time I remember they had the B movie out and Ray Liotta appeared as himself in there.
Yeah.
And for some reason that was one of the most hilarious
He's not
scenes.
a good fella. He's a bad fella.
Yeah, and that for some reason one of the most funniest scenes in the movie. Then the fact that he was in the episode of Whatever Happened to SpongeBob, which was one of the strangest specials they had, as this West Side Story reject, and it was just like, why is Ray Liotta in here? And he kept saying, why? It's been cool, he's in here, but why? It was just such an odd thing to see him in. That was that memorable.
Oh my gosh.
And fun fact about that episode, Whatever Happened to SpongeBob, that was the first time since the SpongeBob Christmas, where they made the SpongeBob Christmas special. That was the first time they ever changed up the original theme song from SpongeBob SquarePants to Who Bob What Pants.
Really? So they tried to do a spin on
Right.
it. Okay.
Oh, they just lost their mind this
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, of course.
So you had
Yeah,
those guests, as well as the return of all of the regulars.
Right.
And then you also had a few more. You had, give me a second. Gene Simmons.
Oh my
Kiss.
gosh.
You had Gene Simmons, and you also had his wife, Shannon Tweed,
Oh my gosh.
and Andrea Martin,
Yes.
She was
Stan.
Miss Gristlepuss.
Yeah. Yes.
And let me see. I can't think of anyone else. You guys remember anyone else?
There was a guest star that was SpongeBob's cousin who appeared in there. What was his name?
Christopher Guest.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was that was Stanley SquarePants, right?
Yep, that was him. Like, what an odd choice for a guest star, but they got him.
Right.
Maybe he's well known in other places. They say, hey, let's get him in here.
Probably. And remember, we were speaking in season 3 of so many celebrities saying they were fans, so they probably did like The Simpsons, since they were their competition as far as they were concerned, and started getting stars to make guest appearances.
Right.
Although, I'm sorry, The Simpsons at that time did it better than anyone else. They lost. The only other show that came close was King of the Hill.
True.
So,
Time for episode titles.
here we go.
And the first one, Friend or Foe, where we realized Mr. Krabs and Plankton were best friends in the start. The original Fry Cook, oh my gosh, I forget his name. I swear I know this actor, but the original Fry Cook, Gene, it was the voice of Remy from Ratatouille.
Oh my gosh, it's Patton Oswalt.
Yes. The Nightlight featuring Mark Hamill. Rise and shine. I'm waiting for waiting. Fungus among us. We're spy buddies. Outsmarts. Good old what's his name? New digs. Crab a la mode. Who touched me? The best Roller cowards. It's the pain. Bucket, sweet bucket. Breath of fresh air. The love of a patty. Ugh, man. SpongeBob versus the Patty Gadget. Money talks. Slimy dancing. The crusty sponge. Sing a song of Patrick. Twinkle, twinkle, Patrick Star.
Oh gosh.
Atlantis SquarePants. Picture Day. A flea in her dome. Mermaid Man versus SpongeBob. Let switch. The donut of shame. Featuring Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley, if you can believe it.
Oh wow.
Donuts. Blackjack, which was an appalling waste of talent there. They could have so done Jack Black as Blackjack.
Right, it would have been like perfect.
Yes.
Blackened Sponge, Best of the West. Oh my goodness, I remember singing that song for hours as a kid when it came out. The Krusty Place, Maximum Power. Oh, Pat No Pay, The Inmate Summers. To Save a Squirrel, 2,000 Krabby Patties Under the Sea, which maybe a reference to 2,000 Leagues Under the Sea, but believe it or not, was referencing Planet of the Apes.
Really? Oh my gosh.
Battle of Bikini Bottom with a gross where Patrick's trying to be gross and SpongeBob's trying to be clean. Whatever happened to SpongeBob? Idiot boy! Goo Goo Gas, the Two Faces of Squidward, Spongehenge, Band in Bikini Bottom, Stanley S. SquarePants.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. 2,000 Krabby Patties on the Sea. I mistake that for Spongehenge. Spongehenge is the one based on Planet of the Apes, not 2,000 Krabby Patties. That episode came out in the same box set, so I watched it a lot as a kid.
Okay.
All right. Woo!
Yes.
So this time I'm gonna go first because as I said, I had fewer. I had, of course, the Mermaid Man versus SpongeBob.
Right.
Anything with Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, that was it.
Right.
Also, I think, Atlantis SquarePants was okay.
Yeah, it didn't need to be a musical though.
No, To Save a Squirrel.
Okay, yes.
And Money Talks.
Okay, yes, that is a good one.
Okay, so next is
Playmaker.
Okay, Playmaker.
Oh my gosh. Okay, don't hate me, but this is the last one. I need to buy off everyone. Friend or foe, because it was the special. Spy buddies, because SpongeBob burned Plankton with a magnifying glass.
Oh my gosh.
Atlantis SquarePants, because it's the great special. Blackjack, because we had to using SpongeBob as applause, and of course Uncle Captain Blue who couldn't hear a word.
Right.
Rest of the West. Spongehenge, because of course that was a creepy one. And of course, whatever happened to SpongeBob.
All right. Lots of big ones too.
You're banned. You're only supposed to do 3.
Oh.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, I only have 2 this season.
What?
One would be Pass of the West, because that actually was a memorable one. That one felt more like the older seasons. And the other one was the Two Faces of Squidward. And I was mixing it up with a different one where he had a personality change. This one where you got the handsome Squidward meme.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was a good one.
Handsome! And it's like, this one, Squidward will never be as popular again.
And you know they definitely took that from Dexter's Laboratory when he did the lab so he would be handsome for his class picture. And everyone was screaming and running. They were inspired by it, definitely.
Yes.
Oh yes, that was a good episode. So let's talk quickly about the DVD. Now this one was a little more complicated, even more than season 4. They had several compilations, season 5, volume 1 and 2 at that time, and they were released in region 1, 2, and 4 between 2007, 2008. They had 3 different ones come out in 2008. And the first volume was released before the episode Fungus Among Us aired in the U.S. The second volume was released before the episode Goo Goo Gas aired. And then in 2012, the complete 5th season was released in Region 1.
Wow.
So they kept giving you, again, like anime, all these different versions.
Yeah, it made no sense.
So people were buying volumes, and then probably like Playmaker, oh, well, I want to get the whole thing because it's got this other stuff that I didn't get, and it's all together. So people would spend twice the money.
Right.
So that concludes season 5. So now let's talk about this particular franchise's impact on Western animation. I know I touched on it a little in the beginning, but in both of your opinions, what's the impact that this series has made on Western animation? You can go first, Rascal.
Okay. I think it would be one of those shows where it can be fun and successful at the same time before you start making changes that aren't necessary. And I know a lot of people want story-driven, plot-driven shows, and that's fine. We like those too. But every once in a while, you just like a show that's just fun and entertaining and creative and silly. Not stupid like some of these shows do now where it's just mindless. SpongeBob was just silly fun. He was acting like a kid for the kids, and you felt like a kid watching it. And I think that's what it lost for several seasons, that joy of being that kid-like adventure that it had, until they finally went back to what worked. You just really enjoy watching the show. It was fun. It was a show you could even relax to, just have some fun. You don't have to think too hard. It's just you're there for a laugh, and it left an impact.
Okay. How about you, Playmaker? I'll go last.
I think it really gave not only Nickelodeon, but a lot of cartoons, like, their general basis for how a basic, fun cartoon, fun and silly cartoon should be. Like, it wasn't the first cartoon Nickelodeon made. Obviously they had, like, Rugrats,
right,
Arnold and whatnot. And even, like, Ren and Stimpy, they were all, like, their own level of weirdness and wackiness and goofiness. But when SpongeBob came out, especially after season 3, that's where I think that a lot of animation going forward gave it, like, more defined and, like, not so charismatic, but also just still that level of silliness that kids around the world love. And that's why it didn't, like, get so off-putting or get so like, well forgotten as much as, like, Ren and Stimpy or Ring Arnold got after a few decades. Like, SpongeBob really left that mark on people.
Definitely.
It was goofy, but it wasn't too much so, which is where people like that sense of moderation.
True.
Yeah, true.
The impact I saw is twofold, and unfortunately it's elements that are missing now in Western animation, with every studio except for Sony, before they screwed up and sold K-pop Demon Hunter to Netflix. One thing was, they took an idea from someone who wasn't in the business, from someone who wasn't with the studio, for someone who had written a lot of other shows and series. It was a fresh, new idea.
Yes.
And that was the beginning of a lot of more fresh, new idea series in Western animation, because they hadn't been doing it. They wanted things like now that were proven.
Yeah.
But they took a chance on him. And for a while, we had other shows that were the same, where you had people that were not in animation or in the business or with a studio, who were coming out with fantastic shows, including Avatar: The Last Airbender, the big one I'm going to name.
Yeah.
And because of that, you got so many others that we never would have gotten. The second thing is, they did a voice cast with people that were not known for voice acting. The entire cast, as you said, Tom Kenny, that was his first role. And the others were more for live action, like Clancy Brown and so forth.
Yeah.
You got people that were not known in the business for being huge and being stars. And the entire cast were people who they gave a chance to leave their mark. And 16 years later, or 16 seasons later, I should say, they've left their mark.
Yes.
So that is for me, the impact that it left. Because of them giving those people chances for VA. Same thing, you got a lot of other shows, not just on Nickelodeon with Avatar, but other studios and shows were giving lots of younger people and older people who were not known opportunities to be voice actors. Now you got to know somebody to get in and all this other garbage. But for me, that's another huge impact it left on Western animation. We got a couple decades of this type of stuff, which is now gone since 2020 and the event. And now they only want to keep remaking stuff over and over and over. Disney. and you're not getting anything fresh and new like SpongeBob with an entirely unknown cast, unknown writers, unknown idea and concepts. You just
Right.
aren't getting that anymore, except for K-pop Demon Hunters.
That's it, really.
So now that we keep talking about Tom Kenny, let's talk about how Tom Kenny has again cemented his legendary status as a voice actor.
Yes.
He is the GOAT.
Yes, goat. Oh, did it cut off?
Hello?
Oh, no, hi, sorry.
That's okay. Oh, I thought you were gonna comment next. Sorry.
So,
So, my thoughts on Tom Kenny?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so yeah, Tom Kenny, he is the quintessential voice actor of any animation. He will serve as like the filler backgrounds. He will serve as the main character of many plot points. He
Right.
will be the silly guy, the villain. He could be the neutral character. He could be put in anything and it will work. And that's what's so beloved on SpongeBob. The fact that this was the first time that he was a main character, and the fact that it just, I don't know, he just instantly became lovable. I mean, yeah, he was lovable in Rocko's Modern Life, but then as he went on to even do himself as Patchy the Pirate, the president of his own fan club, essentially.
Right.
for me, I'll go next. For me, I think the most outstanding thing for me about Tom Kenny is his absolute range, where he can do voices where you don't even know it's him. The most shocking thing for me was hearing his normal voice in Shaolin Showdown.
Yes. Yes.
And I didn't know. And we were watching an episode and Rascal said, "That's Tom Kenny." It is? Yeah,
Yes.
that's his regular voice. It is?
Yes.
And I was just floored, and you said, and I told you, he sounds so normal.
Yeah. Yes.
And then
all
the second thing was in
the same show.
the same
right?
show, he was voicing a character that was a teenage boy. And I remember I argued with Rascal. I said, "That is not Tom Kenny." "Yes, it is." "No, it isn't." "Yes, it is." "No, it isn't." We argued. It was one of the rare arguments we've had. I said, "There's no way that is a teenage boy." And when she showed it to me, I said, "I will never doubt you again." But hearing all the voices he's done on a myriad of shows and characters and movies, he's just brilliant and outstanding, and his gift is definitely God-given. I'm
Oh my
sorry,
God.
it is. And there's hardly anyone out there now that's new to the game that comes close to Tom Kenny and the gifts he has in being the GOAT. And I think
Yes.
that's one of the saddest things we have now for a lot of voice actors. There's lots that we love and are favorites, but a lot of them don't have that type of range anymore, where they can do so many characters and you don't even know it's them sometimes. Now
Right.
you do. You're a Tom Kenny aficionado. I mean, no matter what he's in, you recognize him. So you go last.
Okay. Well, yes, I really can't recognize him in anything when it's animated. If you see him live action, you gotta know him before he opens his mouth. And there have been a few times he's appeared in some live action projects unexpectedly, especially when he appeared in Sky High, and we're like, oh my gosh! But yes, for voices, he can do such a range of characters. He can be goofy, he can be serious, he can be normal, he can be high pitched, he can be low, he can be zany, he can be deadpan, he can be any single voice you can think of, he can do. And there's even come a point in more recent times where we've noticed a lot of voice actors that we know and love are not getting as many roles, and they're not because they're sick or unable or anything. They're just constantly giving roles to people who are brand new because they want more people in the industry. But with Tom Kenny, you see him still with SpongeBob, of course. You still see him pop up in cartoons, but you can tell it's a lot less than you did before. You weren't hearing him in every single show you're watching anymore. And now you've gotten to a point where he was in Fiona and Cake. It's that Adventure Time spinoff. And somehow people didn't catch on that that was him as another character. And they were saying they didn't know he could do dramatic performances because he was getting so much praise for certain episodes he was in of that show, and it's like, but he's been doing voices for decades. How could you not know?
Absolutely.
He literally does everything. He's been in almost everything. Everything you watch, you expect Tom Kenny to be in there at least one time. So I think for me, he's so prolific. I mean, all you know is the
He's
name.
in voice acting since 1981.
Yes, and it's so prolific. You know him anywhere. He's the most iconic voices of all time. And with Playmaker saying he's so lovable, the last thing was that he was at a parade for the Macy's Thanksgiving parade, I think in 2024. And they already announced he was going to appear. Yes, and they announced he was going to appear in there, and that was the first time. It wasn't just the character, it was actually Tom Kenny as Patchy, and everyone was so excited. And then he came on screen, and he was only on there for maybe 40 seconds, and now everyone's favorite part of the parade was him showing up, and everyone kept posting clips of him appearing on there for 40 seconds. So that's how much we love this man.
So 2 more things we want to put out before we round this up. 1, the theme song composed by Derek Dryman, Blaze Smith, Mark Harrison, Stephen Hellenberg.
Okay.
Performed by Patrick Penny, Devin Johnson, Sarah Paxton, and Cameron Walling. It is, again, iconic. I don't know who doesn't know the lyrics to this song.
You're
As soon
right.
as you hear the beginning, oh, no. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants.
You know it, and after 20-some years, you're still laughing at it, and it's still catchy, and it's still fun.
Yeah.
You don't have, again, songs like that that are themed. Most of these shows don't even have themes. They go, doom, and that's the intro.
Title.
It's pitiful. You miss fun like this, and the shows having theme songs and being iconic.
Yeah. I was actually upset when that Sonic Prime didn't have an intro. Excited and waiting, doom, and she was so pissed. She kept going on for like all season long. She's like, "Why is there no intro? You can't have a Sonic show without an intro. What's wrong with you? Where's the intro? You just give us a pathetic sound."
So it's known for that. And then lastly, why do you guys think this I would say group of seasons 1 through 5 is special to the franchise itself?
Because it was the quintessential start of it. I mean, I mean, of course, season 1, 2, 3 is how it started, but then even when season 4 and 5 came out, they pretty much rounded and defined how the cartoon would play out in years to come as they would update it to more modern human, to more modern, society, modern social media and whatnot. They would it defined this cartoon and how it would be going on the rest of their lives and impacting new generations.
Absolutely.
Yeah, true.
Couldn't have said it better ourselves.
Yes.
So, if you have watched SpongeBob SquarePants, any seasons 1 through 5, or the SpongeBob SquarePants movies, let us know in the comments. If you haven't seen it, where have you been?
Right.
What have you been doing?
You're living on a rock with Patrick.
Give it a try, especially season 1. You've got to watch it. It's exclusively on Nickelodeon franchise. You can also watch it on Paramount.
Yes, Paramount Plus, the whole series.
And I think some episodes are now on Tubi.
Prime, yes.
And are any other places you know about Playmaker you can watch it?
Well, watch Cartoon Online.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go there too.
And all the seasons are available as we let you know. So, and you can also get them from your local library.
Yes.
The public library carries at least the first 5 seasons. At least we know for sure.
Right.
Because we've gotten them from there.
Right.
So.
Oh, and a lot of the current seasons are also at Walmart. That's where I got at least 4 of them.
Oh, cool.
Great. And
if you haven't already, subscribe for updates of new videos, favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
absolutely, thank you so much for joining us today. Subscribing to any and all of our channels, sharing our videos, commenting everything you do. As always, you are specials. We invite you to join us for part 2 of covering the SpongeBob franchise, seasons 6 through 10, on a date to be announced. We're not sure when, but Playmaker will be joining us again. He's already agreed. You can't back out.
Yes.
Can't do what I mean.
And thank you so much for joining us for this. You gave it validation.
Yes.
And made it a whole lot more fun. And guys, if you're not following Playmaker and you haven't visited his channel, do so. Lots of SpongeBob content and clips and more on his channel. There's a lot for you to enjoy.
Yes.
So with that,
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Mask Entertainment.
and I'm Mom Entertainments, and
I'm Playmaker.
Have a toontastic day.
peace.
SpongeBob SquarePants!